my most amazing artists. Today we're going to create heart-inspired art from the artist Jim Dine. Jim Dine is a painter, sculptor, and printmaker, illustrator, performance artist, and poet from Cincinnati, Ohio. He moved to New York City and opened a small theater there and created lots of art. Some of our favorite Jim Dine art are all about hearts. So here's what we're going to be making today, some Jim Dine inspired art. So the items that you will need for your artwork today, paper, of course, some crayons, watercolor paint, or you remember the water and marker trick, we can do that too. And then here's where you're going to get to have a little bit of fun. You can go on a texture scavenger hunt in your house, find things that have interesting texture. So some of the things that I went looking for and found are paper clips. Maybe you found some money. Maybe you have an interesting hair comb that you can use. Also, Legos make great texture, as well as simple items such as foil. Maybe you have a heart lace doily, even the bottom of your sneaker. So check with your parents first, make sure it's okay that you borrowed the item, and then bring it back to the art table and let's see what we're going to create. Okay, so now that you have your materials, you can think about your paper. Today we're going to hold our paper like a bathtub. That means it's the wide way, and we're going to do some folding to begin with. So I'm just going to go ahead, fold my paper in half like a book, smooth it out, and then I'm going to open it up again so that you can see the line right down the middle. And then I'm going to take it and fold it the other direction. So now I have, when you open it, 4 boxes. So that's going to give us the space for us to make 4 heart shapes. So in the first box, I'm going to use my handy dandy black crayon, and I'm just going to make a curved upside down letter J. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. There's heart number 1. Now let's do this for heart number 2. Curved line on one side, curved upside down J on the other side. That's 2. Now we're going to go ahead and do heart number 3. Same way, upside down letter J, upside down letter J. There we go. And last one is 4 over here in the corner as well. So now I have my 4 hearts. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of those fun things that I went on the scavenger hunt and found. So let's take, for example, I have some coins. So I'm going to use these coins to do something called a texture rubbing. So it's kind of important when you do a texture rubbing. First of all, you have to kind of make sure that your items are appropriately placed under the box that you're going to be texture rubbing on. So if you're doing heart number 1, you want all your items to be hiding underneath the paper in box number 1. Okay, now here comes the next part of our texture rubbing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my crayon. Now you might have to peel your paper like I did here so that you have the side of your crayon showing. The more of the side of your crayon you use, the better the rubbing will come out. So now I'm going to hold my hand on my paper, keeping it firm so that way my paper doesn't go wiggling all over the place. And I'm going to use, again, the side of my crayon. See how I'm holding it? 2 fingers and a thumb. I'm going to keep it on the side, and I'm just going to rub over all those shapes. Look at those magical rubbing shapes. That looks so cool. Who would have thought that my money would have given me those cool shapes? I'm going to move my paper over a little bit, and I'm going to do some more. This time they're not going to be inside the heart. They're outside the heart. That's okay. I'm going to keep moving my paper all around in this very first box. They can overlap. This is so much fun. You might want to keep on going. And you can create as many rubbings as you can. So notice I'm using the side of my crayon, and I'm just doing a gentle but firm rubbing. Okay, now that I've done box number 1, I'm going to push my coins off to the side and think about what I can use for box number 2. Remember I talked about those Legos? Legos have a really cool texture. I happen to have just one block of Legos here. So I'm going to use that one and I'm going to repeat my design over and over. Again, here's my crayon. I might want to peel this one a little bit more because you can see it needed a little bit of the side. Now I can work with that. I'm going to feel for where that object is, and I'm just going to rub. That looks so cool. Now I'm going to switch, move my paper, and kind of get some different angles so that I have lots of texture. We're creating what is known in the art world as texture. We are making it look like this heart is bumpy, and we're just using those little bumps underneath, and we're creating lots of unique designs. So I'm just going to keep on filling up this row, moving it around. Oh, I have some outside the heart. Kind of have to move your paper around a little bit. Unless you have a bigger Lego, then you could do it all at once. All right, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm happy with that. So I have my circles, I have my Lego. Now I want to see what else I have to create some texture. I found this pick, which is a comb for hair. And since we don't use it anymore for hair, I think it would make great texture. I'm going to place the comb underneath my third row of hearts, my third heart here. Ooh, and I have one that has no paper on it at all. That's perfect. And I'm just going to go ahead and make, ooh, that looks really cool. Look at that. You can see the teeth and the comb. Combs make really cool tools. I'm going to keep moving my paper, remember? Keeping my comb there and just moving my paper around so I can get lots of texture. This is really fun to do. So you want to make sure you fill up your whole box. There we go. Look at that. That came out really neat. So now I have 3 boxes done. I have one more remaining box for some texture. I happen to have lots of these guys. These are paper clips. And I'm going to use some of these to create some texture under this heart. So I'm going to take these, kind of spread them out so that they are all over. There we go. Press it down, hold it flat. Choose my crayon. Oh, this one has no paper, so it'll make an easy rubbing surface. And voila, look at this. I'm holding my paper nice and still, and I'm pressing down kind of hard, so that way I have lots of those really cool shapes. I can move it over and do some more, so I have some up here. Look at that. And do some more. So pretty. It looks like confetti. All right, now we have all 4 boxes with our texture rubbing. So the last part of this project now is to add some of your watercolor paint. So hopefully you have your watercolor paint in a little cup of water handy, and we're just going to paint whatever designs, whatever colors come to your mind, and you're waking up that paint, and you just paint watercolor right over the top. Now, because we use crayons, it's going to resist. Look at those beautiful textures show through. There's my heart. And now I'm going to paint the box around the heart. So maybe I choose a new color to paint around the heart. And you can see I'm just going to go right over the top of the rubbing, so that way you can still see them. They kind of pop right through. It's kind of a unique and cool effect. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish my painting. I'm going to add some color to each of my hearts and each of my boxes so that when I'm finished, I have something that is completely colored in. Notice I have colorful hearts, colorful backgrounds, and of course, amazing texture. I hope you enjoyed creating art like Jim Dine, making lots of really beautiful hearts.